Paltrocast.
How's your day going aside from doing media with people who ask you the same questions?
Talking about media and people that ask me the same questions. I've actually been at a meeting with Universal, our record company, because next year is the 50th anniversary of our original soundtrack album. So talking to them about doing something special.
So you got the 50 years on that, the first US tour in over 30 years. A lot of anniversaries these days for you.
Yeah, a lot of anniversaries, yeah. But it's great.
So I'm a fan of your catalog, both in 10cc and outside of it. I don't think the average person realizes, oh, this guy produced the Ramones. Oh, this guy worked with Brian May. Oh, this guy worked with Ringo. It seems like it's multiple fan bases going on, where some people know the hits, some are the completists, and some people have been following everything. Am I wrong about that?
You're not wrong. I mean, I met someone the other night that knows more about me than I do. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, you did this and you did that, you know, blimey. Great.
So when you're doing this tour, I'm assuming it's 10cc focused, but
yes,
arguably there could be a Graham tour where you do all of your successes outside of 10cc. Have you ever thought about that?
Well, I actually do it.
Oh,
I thought about it and I did it, and I do. I continue to do it. I have something called Heart Full of Songs, which is myself and three other musicians. It's kind of like a sort of semi-acoustic gig. I talk about the songs that I've written pre-10cc, with 10cc, post 10cc, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I love doing it, and I get to talk about the songs more, the origins of the songs.
Pardon my ignorance, has that come to the States?
No, we've never done it.
There you go.
You know, maybe after this tour, maybe I'd love to do it. I really enjoy doing it. It's quite different from the 10cc shows, but it's great. Really lovely thing to do.
And you're playing some great theater-sized venues on this tour.
I can see that, and really beautiful theaters as well.
Being the first US tour in over 30 years, is it the kind of thing where you did it and that's done? Or is it, if it goes well, then every couple of years you could keep coming back?
Oh, no, as long as this is like a kind of investment, if you like, you know, just hope it goes well and hopefully we can return.
So in your case, do you actually like the hits? I love the hits personally, but you find a lot of artists go, the hits that connected were not the best things that I did, and shame on these people for liking that.
I've never thought that. I've never thought that. I'm proud of the hits that we've had, the songs that I've either co-written or that, you know, Kevin Godley and Lol Cream wrote, whatever it is. They're all produced by the four of us, so we all have a kind of an ownership of them. And I'm very pleased and proud to be able to play them. You know, it's a great catalogue to play. It's very enjoyable as a musician to play them.
Were the 10cc hits the same everywhere around the world?
There were some areas some territories where you get a hit that wouldn't be a hit in other places. For some reason. That is a complete mystery to me, why certain territories are drawn to certain tracks and others aren't. But there's quite a few that did well. I mean, like we had the last sort of big hit we had was called Dreadlock Holiday, which was like a big hit in everywhere but in America.
Oh, okay, because that was the one that I was going to emphasize that I thought was the big hit in America, because it's such a funny joke. And to me, that joke doesn't get old. It's the kind of thing that you could say every day outside of the context.
Well, people do, and people say it. I mean, someone said it to me. That's how I got the line. I owe that guy big time. No, I mean, I think the big hits in America were I'm Not in Love and The Things We Do for Love.
Right, and soundtracks like Guardians of the Galaxy keep that even further going. My friend Rachel Yamagata covered I'm Not in Love, and I think that was released through Sony Korea.
Okay.
In your case, do you stay on top of all these sync licenses and covers? Now, yes, I know you get the checks and the royalty statements for it, but some artists go, yeah, I don't want to hear my stuff again. And then other people go, no, this is my favorite cover.
I would never say I don't want to hear my stuff again. I'm always interested to hear a cover. And we were watching a series on Netflix last week called Eric. And the first, I'm Not in Love was in the first episode and the last episode. I mean, no one told us about it, or no one told me about it. And so it was a kind of a nice surprise.
No one told you about it. Do you have those weird publishing deals where people can approve?
We don't. That we're part of the business. You know, we're in a filing cabinet somewhere, and we're just, you know, it's like there's hardly any interaction with publishing companies. They're just like a money collection agencies. I mean, they give us our share, but nevertheless, it's not a lot of. It's not like the old days where you'd be a lot of interaction, and the business has changed quite dramatically anyway. So I understand why they. Well, it would be nice if they got in touch and said, "Oh, by the way, watch out for this, you know, this song or whatever. It's in this series or something," but they don't.
I'm fascinated by that because doing my time at Viacom, you learned about these secret internal lists called key writer lists, where these were artists who licensed their stuff a lot, and it was almost like a separate additional extra level of approval. I would have thought, based on how much you've been licensed, you'd be a secret key writer artist.
Oh, I hope I am a secret key writer. It's like being a spy or something somewhere.
Well,
I have no idea.
So literally they go to the record company, the publisher, they clear it and don't tell you?
Well, they don't no, because we'll get the royalties anyway, but they don't think to. No, they don't tell me.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Well, fortunately, they've had a good track record in putting you into great projects. Eric, the most popular things on Netflix right now. The Social Network was in an Oscar-nominated film, etc.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
There was something. The Sophie. I can't remember her surname, but she's in Modern Family.
Sofia Vergara.
Vergara was in a Netflix. I think it was Netflix, where she played like a drug lord or baroness, whatever. And in the first series, the first episode, she's walking out of a disco, and there's a disco version of For Your Love playing. And that was, I know that song. It's that weird, but I'm very happy about that. You know, I'm not. You know, the fact that the publishers don't tell you, it would be nice as a sort of a courtesy, wouldn't it? But they're only the fucking writers, so who cares?
Well, if I can come up with a bright side to all this, this keeps you from living in the past.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. You know, I'm not complaining. You know, it's fine.
Got it. So, what does the future look like after this 10cc tour of the U.S. happens?
We've got another UK provincial city tour coming up. We've got some Heart Full of Songs dates abroad and in Europe. And it's been like really one of our busiest years. We've already done we did a big city tour that we finished almost finished in London at the Albert Hall, which was brilliant. And it's been, we did a European tour before that. That's right. There's just so much happening.
A couple of years ago, you put out a record through my old friend Andrew's label, Low Jinx. Do you have plans to go back into the studio in the near future?
I've done it. I've got a new solo album coming out on July the 5th.
That was not in the press release that I got. The press release was all 10cc, this, that, and this and that. So
yeah, I guess maybe even when that. Yeah, well, it should have been, but anyway, you know about it now.
Now I know about it. So is it under the Graham name, this new solo
Yes,
record?
yeah, and it's on Lojinx. It's
Oh,
called
great.
it's called I Have Notes.
Is that kind of like a studio person giving you notes on a project, that title?
It could be. It could be lots of things. I actually got the title from. Do you know there's a series called The Boys, which is
Oh, yeah.
about the superheroes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's a guy called Homelander who's a
Yes.
absolute bastard, right? And he always says, I got it from him. He always says, yeah, I have notes. You know, he's got some sort of criticism about somebody. And I just like the idea. There's the obvious thing of I have notes because I have musical notes. But when you see the cover, the album cover, it's not quite that.
That show is full of great, great villains. And I'm looking forward to that next season myself.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's just started off again here.
So this is a compliment question for you. Going through your discography, knowing your history before 10cc, you've always been prolific, or at least it's looked that way from the outside. For you, is the easy part writing the song and the touring is the hard part?
I do you know, whatever I'm doing, like there's three things in my work life that I do. Call it work. We have to call it work as well. It's writing songs, recording them, and performing.
Mm-hmm.
So whichever one I'm doing is the greatest thing that I could ever do. And then I go on to the next thing, and that's the greatest thing I could ever do. Just so I feel very fortunate that I have those three things in my my work life.
So doing the work has never been the hard part. That's what I'm hearing.
No, the the hard part is if you were number 9 on the list of being interviewed of interviewers. I'd still be very polite and courteous and everything, but no, that I can't complain. You know, it's anyone who does what they love is blessed.
Yes. So there's no concerns about not being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You seem like you're comfortable with having your level of success and being able to be anonymous if you want to be anonymous.
Yeah. I'm not interested in stardom or anything like that. What I'm interested in is being involved and making music to the best of my ability. That's what I want to do.
The new record through Lojinx. Well, two more dumb media questions, and then I'll let you go. And the first one, what we keep harping back to is you write music, you play the music, you tour the music. That's it. What's the number 2 passion outside of the music stuff?
My family. That's it. You know, that's my. I don't have any. I don't have any sort of hobbies per se. You know, I don't play golf or. I like to cook. Actually, I love cooking. I like everything about cooking, doing the shopping. You know, cleaning up, making the food, whatever it is. That's what I like to do. But I find that I'm always drawn back into my studio or just playing the guitar if there's nothing going on. You know.
Well, this isn't the last question, but do you primarily hang out with other artists, or do you just put that divide up where you go music, family, and when you're not?
I don't. No, I don't actually. I consider the band my extended family, and we love each other, and I think that's really important. That when an audience see a band, I think they pick up on if there's some sort of friction, and they also pick up on if there's like these guys are really enjoying being with each other, playing together. It's an extra element to the performance, I think.
And the actual last question I've got is, what's the last concert that you went to for fun, not because you were guesting on stage or co-writing with the person or had to, say hi and network?
It was, well, because the last sort of 2 or 3 I went to were for those reasons. I think the last one then would be went to see Sting. in London, and it was great.
Sting consistently has the best drummer in his band.
Oh, you are so right. He had a young guy. I didn't know who he was. I looked him up, actually. I can't remember, Joe, somebody, but he was so cool and so assured and beautiful. And I love the drums. I wanted to be a drummer. I still do, but it's not going to happen, I don't think. But
Well,
I've always had a thing about the drums.
you did drum programming on that Brian May single.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I did drum. Yeah, I can drum program, but I can't play the drums. Yeah,
join the
difference.
Join the club. But the bottom line is, I'm glad that you're touring the States. I'm going to see you live next month at Sony Hall in New York. Glad that there's another solo record coming. Glad that you are touring the stuff besides 10cc. So the bottom line is, looking forward to what's to come in the near future. And thanks for the decades of great art, Graham.
Thank you very much.
Paltrocast.